I want to go a little deeper on this fraudulent candidate topic because I think it's one of the areas where students are underinformed right now of what's happening with recruiters. Okay. This is worth a conversation, especially for people who feel like they're doing a lot of applying with no action. So, what's happening on the other side in the world of recruiting right now is that recruiters are getting 10x what they used to get as far as applicant volume. And that is not just a reaction of the market. Some portion of it is the fact that 1 million people got laid off last year, of course. But the other side of this is that now we do have tools that are facilitating easy apply. It used to just be a tool, Zip Recruiter, where you could click the button and right, it went out like a lotto machine or something. You just pull the handle. Now we have all these applicant bots that they can load their stuff up and the bot goes out and it can find jobs. And even just like giving you a short list is going to make people apply more because we've been told that if you apply more, you can get a job. So they keep applying. Now, think about it. If a recruiter has 500 resumes on their desk, what are they going to look for first? A way to make that pile smaller. They also have the factor that there are more fraudulent resumes. And that doesn't mean a bot applied. Fraudulent doesn't mean a bot applied. Fraudulent means that someone created a fake resume and submitted it for some reason. Some of those reasons are nefarious, others are not. I have read about cases where the North Korean government was creating identities to hack into the largest organizations, and they were hired at multiple high-level, big Fortune 100 companies. That's where this fear is trickling down. Do I think this is happening at your average manufacturing company? No. Are they still getting more? Yes. And they're using this as a reason that they can shrink the pile. And there are a couple of things. The ATS company, because they want to keep their customer, they're creating technology that helps people shrink the pile. Some of those technologies, this is what's happening behind the scenes. It's not sophisticated, but it's methodology. Let's start with those job keywords. So for a long time, the job keywords were a way to create a match, right? We had a score that was based off of those keywords being a one-to-one match because the technology wasn't smart enough to say, I think you mean this. That's why we used that before. Now, what's happening is tools like Ashby and Lever, those are two ATS systems that are very popular. What it does is it parses all the resumes so they look the same. Does that make sense to everybody? Type yes in the chat if you understand what I mean when I say parsing all the resumes to look the same. So basically, perfect. I just want to make sure because I know parsing and it means that I can look at everybody side by side and know that and compare them equally. At least that's the philosophy here. But what happens is if you have all that context in white text, it means that your beautiful one-page resume is now 18 pages long because it took all of those keywords and just plopped them in a list. It can make your resume ugly, and that will get flagged, right? They're also looking at conversation patterns. If I take the job post and paste it in that white text at the bottom, that's going to be a conversational flag, meaning I don't think this is a real match. I think they're trying to trick me from the machine. The next one is funky formatting. All right. Whenever I talk to students, I'm like, look, I want your resume to be as boring as possible. No columns. None. Zero. All right. And if it's hard to format, get rid of it. Keep it as simple as possible. No tables, no columns. Because again, that parsing system, it just creates inconsistency. And these tools, as much as they call them AI and everyone's, oh, they're so smart, they're going to they're going to take jobs. We all know AI is not that smart. All right. It's just not that smart. And I want you to make sure that we are not giving them templates that will get them flagged as a fake when they're not. The next one is about the LLM resume. All right. So this one, I know we're going to use AI no matter what. So I started to kind of like look into the research to try to figure out how you create something unique but you can still use AI. And basically what they said is like at least 20% of it has to be highly unique. So if we need to set a baseline, about 20% of the content on the page, 1/4 of the page, needs to be something that came out of your brain and was written down on a piece of paper. So this tool, what's happening here is there's a tool called Sapling. And what it is it gets merged with the ATS, and it's used often for like testing, pre-employment testing to like test your skills, test your personality. Now they've added something called a human probability score. So if it directly looks like a chat GPT, it's not that they're going to say this one is fake. It's just going to give it a really low score. And again, we got to know how the recruiters are working. Big pile. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Sort by score so that I'm working on the best ones first, or at least what the machine tells me are the best. So at a minimum, my advice is rewrite the bullets, whatever draft you get. I want you to rewrite all the bullets. And the other thing that I always tell students to do, numbers, scope and scale. How much, how many? You never worked on a team. You worked on a team of 4 over a 4-week period to complete 6 deliverables. Okay? I gotta see scale. Next, the AI generated headshots. Please, no. That's all I'm going to say. No. Because here's why. Again, it's not about getting flagged on some creepy backend system. This is the problem. If you make it past barrier 1, okay? And here I am, the recruiter. I have 50 resumes, let's say, and I now am taking 50 to 25. I go on your LinkedIn profile just to make sure you're real. See if you've got your stuff together. And there's a fake picture. And I can tell it's fake because the skin's perfect and the glow is right here and the hairs. You know what I'm talking about, right? It just looks fake. Instantly, my brain's going to say, okay, pass. Because it's our responsibility to make the big pile smaller. Don't do things that make it easy for people to say, this one isn't worth doing more of.